Hello, hello. Welcome back to Real Talk. This is Zach. I'm with Hamadi and Solo. Let's get into some quarter of the season awards. Yeah, let's have a look at it. For right now, the season ended. Who would we give these awards to? Right? Let me ask you this, boys. If the season ended today, who is your MVP?
It's a tough one,
This is
man.
a tough one, man.
It's very tough.
Giannis has been ridiculous. Based on narrative, bit of bias, I'm going to go LeBron James. Probably been the best player. I think, it's just what's the word for it? The way he's kind of revitalized himself, They're all talking crap about him, defensively. LeBron just stands there, does nothing. Now he's playing both ends of the floor, averaging over 10 assists. I think he's leading the league in assists. And I don't know. I just like it. Giannis is Giannis. He's a freak. And if I said Giannis, no one would argue. If I say LeBron, I think it's tough to argue as well. And even James Harden, like this, you could pick anyone, and I would say, hey, that's a fair call.
Just saying LeBron, but
I'm saying LeBron.
I want to say LeBron, but I'll be a bit different. I'll go James Harden. I think he's always underappreciated, man. Like, this guy puts up ridiculous numbers, and people take it for granted. Like Kobe back in the day. You know what I mean? How many MVPs did he win? One? Should have won about 4, let's be honest. I think he's on that same trajectory as Kobe, He's putting up points, but everyone's just taking, that's just James. Man, he's putting, like, astronomical numbers up. He's my MVP right now.
You don't think that's because of his playoff record? That's why they're a bit like, yeah.
But it's not a playoff award,
I know
man.
that. But obviously it plays a part, and people, you talk about that. Why doesn't anyone give him the respect he deserves? Every time I bring up James Harden, yeah, but he never does it in the playoffs. Everyone always says that.
Yeah, but this isn't about the playoffs. We're smarter than that. You know that, man.
We're
smart. We're all smarter than
us. Me and you?
Brother, stop. All right.
We are smarter than that. All right. So we have James Harden and LeBron James.
What about you?
Do
What
I
about
gotta go?
you, Zach?
Do I get to say?
Go.
I'll say,
Who? Doncic?
bro, John Doncic has been so good. Look, for me, I say LeBron, man. The guy is just, take him out of the Lakers. I mean, take any of these players out of their teams, but him, especially with the Lakers, I don't think Anthony Davis is as good without LeBron. I don't think anyone's as good without LeBron. So I'll say LeBron James. All right, give me 2 players. Your most improved players for this quarter. 2 most improved players that surprised you this season by literally saying, "Whoa, you know what? This guy's playing very well. I'm surprised."
Brandon Ingram and Siakam again.
Why Ingram?
Because he's jumped up from 18 points per game to 25. And he's been, all-star level. He's playing very, very well.
You think he'll be an All-Star this year?
I don't think so.
'Cause
Based
of
on
the-
team
'cause of the West?
record. Team
Was-
record, West doesn't have that hype. If
Mm.
Tatum was doing this, he'd be an all-star. He has that. I'm being serious. He has that hype around him. You laugh now, but whenever Tatum has a big game,
It's the city that he's in.
everyone's
JT,
hyping it up,
baby.
right? Every time last year Ingram had a big game, he's playing with LeBron, whatever. He should be doing this, But when Ingram does it, he's been killing it this season. Doesn't get that same buzz, Same when Ben Simmons has a big game. People forget Ingram was the second pick in the draft. But he will never get that same buzz that Ben Simmons gets when he has a big game. Or when Ben Simmons hits a 3, oh my God. Twitter explodes because Ben Simmons hit a 3.
Solomon?
Like, for me, most improved, usually it's shit players that have improved to a better standard. But for me, it's who's taken their game to another level. And I think Trae Young and Luka Doncic have done that this year so far. They've been playing way above what anyone thought they would be right now at this point. Especially Luka. He's the main guy there. But again, he's playing at a different level than last year. They were just trying to get into the league here and there. But now in this, what is it, second year? Is it second or third year? Second year, man, and they're the main players in their team. They get relied on the whole time. That's crazy, man. Big props to them. They deserve a mention, whether anyone likes it or not.
So why I added Siakam is that I think a lot of people, when Kawhi Leonard left, they thought, that's probably it for the Raptors. They might not even make the playoffs. But Siakam's taking his game to He's already won most improved last year, but he's even gone to a higher level now. And now we're talking all-star level, right? Average what? He averaged like 16, 17 last year. Now he's averaging 25. And he's carrying that team. So
Yeah, and that's the same.
Toronto, like right now, they look like a favorite to repeat. Like that's how good they're playing.
Oh,
They're not going to repeat. Don't
No,
get me
no,
wrong.
they're not. But they'll be top 4 maybe. Yeah,
They're going to be a tough team to beat.
it's the same thing with Luca and Trey. You know what I mean? They're playing at an all-star level. I think they're a chance for it. So again, I want to give props to them because there's no other category they're gonna get a mention in. You know what I mean? So yeah, even with Siakam, they're doing big things. There's a big change coming in the NBA. It's happening right now.
Yeah,
What about you, Zach? I keep forgetting.
For me, Doncic definitely. I think he's a guy that we thought, all right, fair enough, we see his ceiling, but this season that ceiling is on an entirely different level. He's getting compared to LeBron now. Do you get me? Like, is he the next LeBron? Is he better than LeBron? Whatever it is.
He's in MVP conversations.
Definitely. So he's gone to a brand new level, man, and good on him. He deserves. He's a great player. Second one, I would say Siakam. I think Siakam has just like you guys said, raised his game. No one expected it. Everyone thought, all right, he had Kawhi, that's why, whatever. But it shows it's him. There's no one else involved. It's actually just him pushing on himself. All right, from most improved to what we say the flops, right? Name me your 2 biggest flops from this season. Players that you thought would do well, but just it's not working.
This guy's not a flop, but I thought he'd take that next level, like MVP status, up there with Giannis. I think it was Jokic. He's been very, very quiet this season. His team's been playing good. They have a great record, but I thought Jokic would be that guy to take it to another level and be an MVP candidate for real. But it hasn't been the case.
And the second one?
He's just not doing bits for you in fantasy. That's why you're giving it
I was
to him,
going to
bro.
say, yeah,
I'm pretty upset.
Let's be
with
honest,
him,
bro.
Like legit.
First pick
He
in
has-
fantasy?
He was my first pick in fantasy,
Ah.
and he's been terrible, man. I actually just traded him today, guys.
Who did you trade for?
For my second flop, Joel Embiid.
Oh,
He has not been as dominant as well as I thought. Again, these are great players, and they're not really a flop, but you just thought they'd take the game to the next level, and I thought Embiid would be another one of those MVP candidates. But
What did you
hasn't
think
been
of
the
his
case.
0-point game the other day against Toronto?
Man, it happens, man. Like, the only disappointing thing is he never went to the free throw line, which was kind of like...
Do you reckon
He
they're
did go to the free throw line, but he missed all his shots, apparently.
Yeah.
Like,
They're blown out of proportion a bit?
they blew it up a bit, man. I guess...
'Cause they're gonna
I think Scottie Pippen was saying, like, no one's giving credit to Toronto defense, which is also true, but
Yeah.
if you're a big guy like that, man, you should have at least 2 points, man.
32 minutes he played.
Yeah,
32.
Yeah,
like-
but like, look,
surely.
like you said, it happens. You're gonna berate a player for playing one bad game out of 82. Come on,
No,
man.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Hey, at least he played, right?
That's
he
it.
wasn't sitting it
He
out.
didn't sit out like what's
yeah.
his name?
Look at that bozo.
Your friend, brother.
My friend?
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard.
You mean Goat Leonard?
And
Yeah,
can I
okay.
special mention DeMar DeRozan?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say
He
that.
is trash.
Oh man.
He is trash.
That
Solid.
justified the trade there, man. Toronto.
Who's your 2?
I'm gonna go with like some young guys that I thought maybe they talked a big game, and to be fair, I don't think they've delivered as much.
Let's hear it.
Donovan Mitchell
Thank you.
and
Yes.
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox has been injured.
Ooh.
He's injured.
I don't care.
He's averaging 18.
I don't care, man.
De'Aaron
But hey, let's be
I
real.
don't
With
care.
De'Aaron Fox, ever since he got injured, they started winning games.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
You
point,
hate
man.
to see it.
All right, them two, man. They talk such a big game. All right, and what have they done?
Hey,
Nothing,
for me, I agree with Donovan Mitchell that he doesn't match his hype.
bro.
He's put himself on a pedestal that he can't stand on.
Exactly. That's my point, man. Like I said before, Doncic and Trae Young have gone to another level. That's where Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox should be. Pushing that All-Star.
Donovan Mitchell should be where Luka Doncic is
Exactly,
right
and he's not. And that's reason for a flop. To be honest, so far in the season, maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe De'Aaron, when he comes back, he'll turn it around as well. But at the moment, they're my flops.
Mine, I'd say Donovan Mitchell. He's one that came to mind straight away because I was expecting. It's his 3rd season now, in the league. So he was great first season, second season. Yep, all right. Now 3rd season, show us who you really are. Show us what you got. And he's got a great team around him, which a lot of rookies don't get when they first come into the league. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Mike Conley came as well to help him out a bit more, and still.
You thought they were going to push for
He's
something
got a
big.
defensive juggernaut around him, and he's got shooters around him.
Yeah,
He's got a
it
guy
doesn't make
anchoring the
sense.
defense, defensive player of the year.
Doesn't
It's
make
all
sense.
set up. The offense is set up for him to like be that 25 points per game scorer,
Yeah,
and he's not.
He's not. My second one, my surprise, was Joel Embiid. I just feel like I'm not playing to my potential.
Is that your
That's spot on.
that's your
bro.
impression of
That's
him?
my spot. That's spot on. Go check it.
It's
Go check it.
disgraceful, bro.
I just
Yeah, that's disgraceful, man.
nah, but seriously, but I just thought this season 76ers. Oh, sorry, no, not Joel Embiid. My bad, guys. 76ers, but not Joel Embiid. He was my honorable mention. Tobias Harris is my second one.
What?
Yes.
He's not.
Let me tell you why.
All-star, man.
Let me tell you why.
Because the money is
Didn't he
getting
score a
paid.
go-ahead bucket the other day?
Let me tell you something.
Bruh.
Let me just finish, please.
This guy's a bass.
Please.
Let him finish.
Please. Tobias Harris, yeah. Think about it. Last season, decision was going to be made. I know Jim Butler wanted to leave, wanted to go Miami the whole time, whatever it was, blah, blah, blah. But you could have convinced him to stay if the right things were said, yeah?
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Okay.
They went for Tobias Harris instead. So now Tobias, you're meant to be the third guy on this team, yeah? They're meant to be the third. Show us what you got, man. 18 points in the regular, like that's your average. Come on, man.
Bro, he's never been that guy.
He was at Clippers for
He
a while.
wasn't. He was averaging 20 at the Clippers.
20, fair enough. You
Yeah.
give me 16 to 18
But that
here,
Clippers
bro.
team was a good team, man. Lou Williams, you know, like
They
Gallinari
were-
next to him. It was
they
a
were,
great,
they were a
solid-
good team. They were a good team.
Hey,
but
but-
he got given responsibility.
Can I interject?
Why
Stepped
were they
up.
hyped though? They were hyped because they were a good team. You know, they passed the ball, they shared the ball. You know, there was no main guy. That's
Mhm.
what it was all about.
All right.
Tobias Harris was never the main guy.
But give me excuses for Tobias for missing open shots, for not being the player that I thought he was going to be.
But what do you want him to be in
How
that
is
team?
Josh Richardson
But-
the third guy? How
so-
is he the third
but
guy?
so
Richardson's
what?
a good
But
fuck-
so
He's
what?
a great player, but he was meant to be the fourth, not the third.
But so what? What's your point?
You're telling me they paid that much money for Tobias Harris to be the third guy, to be the fourth guy, sorry?
All right, you can say that. You can make that decision
My point is-
after. Right now, it doesn't make a difference. They're 15-6. They have a stacked team.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, brother. I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know what you're expecting from
I'm
him.
sorry. All I'm talking about is the money he got paid. I expected to see more.
You're picking a
gotta say
guy.
it.
You're picking a guy that's the third best player at best in a team.
All right.
A flop. What
He's
is
a
he, the
flop.
fourth best?
You know what? 'Cause
What's
right
your
now,
point?
He's the fourth best.
What's your point?
My point is,
That's not big,
you're
bro.
getting paid that much. My same point with, you know what? I could have had Mike Conley in there as well. Because you're getting that money as well. You're meant to be the difference maker in your team, and you've done nothing.
Oh, fair enough. Fair
Come
enough with
on,
that
man.
one. Can I do a special mention before we end this?
Tell me, special mention.
Kyrie Irving.
No.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving.
No.
The Brooklyn Nets are 10-10.
Come on, man.
The guy is sitting out for no reason. All right, he's putting up big numbers, but what's he doing to the rest of the team?
I'm
Nothing.
I'm not happy, man. I need KD. here.
Okay,
I'm not happy.
you're saying no, but give me a reason why not.
Dude, individually, look at his stats, bro.
I don't
That's
care about
killing
that.
it.
I don't care about that. I want to see the effect on your team as well there with him, with expectation. I'm talking about expectation. There should be at least a 5th or 6th seed. You know that. All right, they shouldn't be 10-10.
I agree with the extra stuff. There's no need for it. You know, all
Look.
extra
The
stuff.
thing is,
The
yeah.
thing about the thing
Do
with
we
the Boston
agree?
letter that
But
came
can I
out,
say,
stupid.
do we agree that when Kevin Durant comes back and if he's healthy, yeah, they're a championship contender?
Yeah,
They're a big possibility of coming out of the East.
yeah. KD's amazing.
this year.
No.
No,
Next
next
year when
year.
KD's
But
full
KD
healthy. No, I'm just saying
Yeah, I get it.
hypothetically, you'd
Hypothetically,
think.
they need better pieces, I think, around them.
I know, but that's the two, yeah.
Mhm.
You
But
can put that two.
you're expecting KD to come back and be the same guy. Kobe came back from the same injury, was never the same guy.
Again, I'm being hypothetical. I'm saying he
Yeah.
comes back full health.
Okay.
Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Okay, do you honestly see Kyrie holding up his end of the bargain the way it's going? I cannot believe Cleveland won a title. You know how like
But
big.
how good was Kyrie then?
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like how big is the narrative now for that Cleveland win back in 2016?
It just looks better on
like
LeBron's
how did
resume.
LeBron tame this bloke? You know what I mean?
I'm saying. I'm saying Kyrie needs a bigger brother in the team, right?
He's got it.
He doesn't have one right now.
Kevin Durant.
But Durant's not there.
He's there every game.
Come on, man. He's not there, but
He's there
You know what I mean?
every game.
but he's not there. He's there, but he's not there.
You think he can't talk?
He can, but
He
it's
can't
different.
console the bloke.
There's a difference when you play ball when you're on the field together. Then when you're on the sideline, this and that, it's different, right?
I
So
just
feel like when
look,
he has
look,
that guy on the
the
field
thing
next
with
to him,
the thing with
it'll be
Kyrie.
different.
I know, but the thing with Kyrie, I just don't think mentally, yeah, he wants to be there. He wants to play. I think he needs to like sit out, refresh, and come back wanting like he doesn't love the game. I don't see him loving the game like he used to. You know what I mean? I think Uncle Drew got to his head, bro.
All right, give me your two most improved teams. Teams that have surprised you. You didn't think we're going to be this good this season, and totally surprised you, and they're playing very well. It doesn't have to be the top. It could be anyone who's improved or who's surprised you the most.
So far, Dallas has surprised me for sure, and Toronto. I didn't think Toronto would be this good, 15-4, and I also didn't think Dallas. I thought Dallas would be good, 8th seed, but they look like a top 4 team right now. So it kind of took me by surprise. But definitely Toronto. Like, I'm shocked at how good Toronto is playing, man. Like, defensively, they are so good, man. They're going to be tough to beat in a 7-game series.
Solo?
Yeah, I think Dallas as well. I think they're coming 4th right now in the West. It's a tough conference. A lot of people didn't think they're going to be a chance there. So they're proving a lot of people wrong. And I think Miami, man, just I know maybe they're not standing out. They're not like, like
Jimmy Butler's
Toronto.
been sitting a lot of games, just so.
And he's been sitting like that. And they're still what? They're 14-5 coming 3rd in the East.
I guarantee you, Jimmy Butler's on the beach while they're playing.
100%.
I just feel like he's that type of guy, just flexing his body on the beach.
I just think Eric Spoelstra is getting the best out of these players. Like, he's a legit coach, man.
It's a perfect marriage.
They're doing
You know
pretty
what I
well.
mean? This is the kind of team that he wanted the whole time, and I think Jimmy gives them that killer edge. That nasty edge. If they come playoff time, they'll be very hard to take down.
Yeah, very similar to you, Solomon. I would say the Heat. I didn't think they'd be this good, but to be coming 3rd in the East is not a bad conference, man, this season. So for them to coming 3rd, yeah, basically everything you said. Other team I'd say is Timberwolves. I think Timberwolves. No one after the debacle that happened last season. With Butler, everything, Anthony Towns, whatever, Wiggins, all that kind of stuff. They came out of the gates pretty hot, did well, and Western Conference are becoming 7th. They're doing well. So I would say the Timberwolves, man, have surprised me in a good way. And as always, the 2 flop teams. Which 2 teams have flopped in your estimation this season? Not doing that well, or as well as you thought?
This one's easy. Utah Jazz have dropped the ball this season. Well, so far anyway. If the season ended today, they'd be a flop for me. People have compared them to, people have said that they're a good chance to win the title, just defensively, the pieces they have, adding Conley, who's been pretty disappointing, adding Bogdanovic. They've got a really, really good team on paper. It's just, it's getting it all to work, and it hasn't worked. And on paper, it should work. Like, you're adding guys like Conley, Bogdanovic. These guys aren't selfish players. They're not big egos, It should work. Another team that's probably been disappointing is... Look, I thought the Pelicans would be much better, man. I know Zion's not playing. I still thought they'd be better. But that comes down to... Should have added Lonzo as one of my flops. I thought he'd take a leap as well this season. But he's just...
But it's injury as well there with him.
But then again, now we make the case he's just too injury prone now. Like...
Yeah.
The Pelicans... And if I had to pick one team for the East, I know I'm dragging on. It'll probably be the Bulls for me. I thought the Bulls just had a bit more talent. I thought Levine would be there. Take that next step. I thought Markkanen, he's been disappointing. Another one that's been very crap for me in fantasy.
Bulls over the Pistons? You don't think Pistons would have been better?
Blake Griffin's been injured for the Pistons. I still think the Pistons will get better. They'll improve.
Solo?
Yeah, the East is pretty hard to pick because it's pretty standard the last 4. Washington, Cleveland, Atlanta, New York, Knicks. You probably think they would be down there. For me, the biggest shocks or the biggest flops are Portland and San Antonio. After what Portland did last year, it's pretty disappointing so far what's happened with them.
I was going to say Portland, but because they went on a 3-game win streak due to Melo, I've kept my
Due
mouth
to
shut.
Melo, you know what I mean? It took Melo.
I've kept my mouth
Brother, it took Melo, to get him back on track.
Look,
but before that, they dropped the ball a lot compared
Yeah.
to, what Western Conference finalists last year. They were supposedly building on that, and they haven't lived up to it. And San Antonio, man, they're really poor this year so far. I don't know if it's just...
I just think they're past it.
It's time to blow it up. It's time to blow it up.
I feel like this.
time for
Yeah,
Pop to go?
I feel like this was expected.
Nah.
No?
Marcus Aldridge is getting old. I feel like apparently he's rumored to go to the Boston Celtics would be interested. Could be a great fit.
I think they got pieces there that they can trade and start all over again. I don't know if it's gotten to that point yet, but it's getting pretty close.
But we don't look at Pop at all?
I think Pop, naturally, he's near the end. And he's going to go on his own accord. He's deserved that. 5 NBA titles. I'm never going to blame him, man. What can you do?
For me, it was difficult. I wanted to look honorable mentions to the Pelicans. Same as you, I thought they'd be better, but they haven't really. I mean, Zion's been injured, coming back in December. I think next week or week after. But still, I thought they'd be a bit more vibrant. But for me, I'd say just like you saw on the Trailblazers, I thought they'd be better than last season. I thought they'd be a bit more confident, especially because they went to the conference finals and that kind of stuff.
Don't worry, they got Melo now.
They'd build on that, but they didn't. My second team would be the 76ers. I thought 76ers would be top of the conference. They have the team to be top of the conference. I thought they'd be playing much better than they are, and I think for them to be fifth or whatever they are, fourth or whatever it is,
Fifth.
yeah. I think that's. I think we're talking about right now anyway. We're not talking about at the end. But right now, for me, it doesn't make sense. For me, there's no injuries. Everyone should be, if everyone's playing well, doesn't make sense for me if they're down this. I would say, yeah, 76ers are a bit of a.
I think we know in basketball that this could all flip. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And about another half season.
We're gonna do half. We're gonna do half
the
season
halfway
awards too,
thing.
yeah,
So
we'll see then.
you'll see a lot of teams start fatiguing. Players getting injured. It all makes a difference. A lot of bottom teams start going on runs. It's 82 games, man. You know what I mean? So it
takes time.
It will change. A lot of teams.
I think after Christmas, they
around then.
There's like goals they've got to meet every so and so.
Yeah,
Christmas
exactly.
is the first point, All-Star break, and then after that,
It's a long season, but what can you say?
Yeah, we'll see. Any other topics you guys want to discuss? Any other players playing? What? Blake Griffin? No.
He's been
Injured.
quiet, very quiet season.
Quiet Leonard, MVP.
Shut it down.
Kawhi Leonard, load management.
Load management MVP, maybe, bro.
Yeah,
I think he takes that one.
Off the court, those suits are popping. So
Does he wear a suit, bro? I don't even think he wears suits.